A little earlier, I got a download, and it was like, it's always nonsense with you. It's always nonsense with you, and you want me to just go along with it. It's always nonsense. So I feel like Spirit gave me that because apparently there's been some nonsense going on. Almost like going around. There's been some nonsense going on around you. Or maybe this just stopped. Maybe you just put a stop to it. But there was just some people around you, right? That it doesn't feel like they were making sense to you. I feel like you were patient though. I feel like you really tried to give these people the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, maybe you trying to just do something different and I'm just not used to that. And then you try to like let them rock out real quick, like, okay. But you know, you low-key watching, like, okay, let me see where this goes. Because I'm not really sure, but I'm really trying to see. That's the energy that I'm getting from this message. But you realize that you tried long enough, and I feel like this is not just romantic, even though I'm sure a romantic relationship is involved as well, but it's really also about like even colleagues or business partners. It's like you start to watch people and how they move and how I heard they lack good communication. There's things that if they had just said something, a lot of what got mixed up and messed up would have never happened in the first place. But because of their lack of communication, things went left when it could have went right. Okay. And I feel like this was very detrimental, not only to the relationship, but also to what you had discussed with these individuals and they agreed to was the plan. They completely always veered off of the plan. It's almost like, I hear you saying, did you hear anything I said? Like, because I don't feel like you even registered anything. It's like making a plan with someone and they do something totally different. Something totally off the chart compared to what was discussed. It just feels like you dealt with this so much that you ask yourself, why did I even go through with that anyway? But I feel like you were in a more, it feels like trusting. You were in a more trusting energy, but the more you trusted certain people, the more you realize that you can't trust everyone. Because not everyone is on your level, and not everyone is as serious about the task as you, whatever that is. If it's like relationships for you, sometimes people just play on what they think you want and be that, you know. So that's just somebody putting up a front until they get what they want, or continue to uphold the front in order to continue to get whatever they feel they can get from you. So it's either they just put up a front in the beginning and then switch up real fast, or if they feel like you are someone who is of some type of value to them, then they'll put up the front for a long extended period of time just to make sure that they continue to get what it is that you're giving. And I think this type of person could be the most trickiest, because most of the time people like this, they're either very attractive or very charming or both, you know, and that makes it really hard because you can't tell, like, is this person being real with me, or are they, what's going on here, you know? But when you have that close relationship with spirit, you'll begin to see things, because eventually someone who is not really for you, their mask, it drops off and they can't help it. Because someone who's fake, they can't hold up alive for that long to the point where they don't show you any red flags. Because the truth always comes out. Like, you know, it's like the true nature of a person always shows itself. Most of the time, it shows itself when you least expect it. Okay? And I said it shows itself. The demons that lurk inside of a person, they show themselves when you least expect it, because sometimes it's like they can't. It's reminding me of that show, The Grimm. I don't know if you've ever watched it before, but it's creepy. And I believe it's I haven't watched it in a long time. It's so creepy that I can't watch it for a long extended period of time, like back to back. I'll watch a few episodes and stop because it's like creepy. So it's like, okay, I'm fine now. I need a break from that. But it is interesting though, because it shows how, well, one of the detectives has his partner, and one of them have a gift, and they can see through people on a spiritual level, and they can see what type of creature they are. Or he can. One of them can. Because it's in his bloodline where he can see people for who they are. And when he sees people transform, it's always like, it's never like a subtle morph into the creature. It's always like, it's always like real rough and like abrupt, and it looks like it almost looks like forced, like forceful. How can I say? It really looks like the creature just really took over for real, like it's just like, and aggressively. So I feel like there's moments and times where you actually noticed that, but in your own way. And to you, this person began to look like one of those grim looking creatures that you didn't even know was inside of them. I heard ghouls and goblins. So this was a learning experience for you. You needed to see who these types of people are and in what form they can come to you. Because there's many different forms, but when it's really meant to take you out, like really try to take you out, they're usually someone that you find attractive. And this is why it's so important to have a close relationship with God, because you know, in life you never know what's going to happen in any type of relationship, but that shouldn't stop you from living and from getting to know people and seeing for yourself. God doesn't want you to stop communicating with people and connecting with people off the strength of heartbreak. Heartbreak is meant to make you stronger and wiser. It makes you become wise, and then you realize that a lot of situations that you were in before, they didn't really have to happen, but then you start to take more accountability because you recognize how much control you have over the situation, and then you're like, I didn't have to actually let them into my life. I did that because I wanted to, and I thought it was a good choice. But when you learn that everyone is not on the same wave as you, that right there is a life-changing realization, because you notice quicker when it's time for you to get away from a certain person because you see they're no good for you, or you don't even let a person in because you notice signs. You see signs in a person. Most of the time, our fleshly desires trick us into relationships or situationships that are like the worst for us, because our flesh doesn't give a damn. Honestly, because our flesh is connected to our physical eye, not really our mind's eye. So if someone's mind's eye is asleep, they can't see the alarms going off with certain people. And even if they feel a certain something, they'll bypass that. I heard they'll trip the wire. They'll rob themselves of happiness trying to reap the rewards of what seems like a treasure. So that's what we end up doing when our mind's eye is asleep and we're not using our godly power to discern people for who they are because of the fleshly desires. So the flesh is of lower energy if you just look at just the flesh alone, because you must think how the flesh is detached. How can I say this? The flesh is easily separated from the soul and spirit of a person, right? So it stays here in the lower realm. Earth is a lower realm. So once there's a separation, that's why it's so important to connect to your spirit self in the flesh, while in the flesh. Because if you don't, you're going to be out here tripping. You're going to be doing everything you want, and it is most of the time not good. Because your mind's eye and your connection with your God mind is what gives you that heightened discernment to where you could see many things before they even happen. It's like, you're just always connecting dots without trying. Dots just be connecting and you're not trying. That's the best part about it, because it's like, it's on autopilot. The discernment is just always on. You don't have to turn it on. It's just activated, so it's always on. It's on to the point where even if you're distracted by being in deep conversation or just enjoying a moment, because sometimes, I just heard, sometimes don't take the camera out. Don't be so quick to take the camera out and enjoy the moment. Somebody needs to hear that, because it's like there's something special about enjoying a moment without disturbances. No phone, no cameras, just you and the experience of whatever you're doing or the person that you're with. There's something very special about there. Is something very special about that. Excuse me. And very like wholesome, and like my nose is itching. Okay. So this allows a true connection with a person, like bonding. This allows bonding if you're with a person. This allows bonding with self if you're alone, because it gives you the space to truly think and not allow any distractions to take over. And nowadays that needs to be practiced, because it has become a challenge to keep your own energy within yourself, as opposed to letting people feed on you. I wasn't even going to say that, but it came out. Letting people feed on your energy by giving them your energy, or giving anything your energy that is outside of yourself or outside of the bond that you're building with someone. Like for instance, you go to I don't know, have dinner or I was gonna say, yeah, have dinner with someone. Put the phone away. Even if there's moments of silence and there's just smiles, it's okay. I feel like the phone has become addictive. I was thinking about this the other day, how when I was younger, nobody had a cell phone. I was in that era where the car phone had just came out and it was a big block. And some people had it in their cars. And I remember contacting my father on his beeper and he had to call me back on a payphone. Like I remember payphones. Like I remember these things, you know. And that's weird because that's like a whole different world from now, and that's not that long ago. Yeah. I'm only 36 years old and so much has changed technologically, and it's just feels like I went through a portal. I really feel like right now this is a whole portal of new, you know, and or ancient. It's so funny. Life is funny, you know, the world is funny. This space is tricky. And it's up to us to successfully enjoy life in such a chaotic place. It that needs a lot of help. This place needs a lot of aid, including, well, it's really about the people. It's not so much about the place because the people caused the place to have the problem. So it's the people. So the people need aid. So that's the reason why many times you encounter or try to work with people, regardless of if it's romantic or if it's like a business thing. People don't, they off. They're not like on the same wave as you. And then I think you're realizing that now it's better for you to pay attention and remove certain energies away from you instead of trying to make something work that's not working, because it's a wasteful use of energy. It's wasteful, and you could be doing something else with your time that's more productive, something that equates to joy and growth and peace. It's just what you choose to give your attention to is what grows. So if you continue to give your attention to spoiled aspects of life, which are those who don't mean you well, but they're still trying to stick to you, the harder it's going to be for you to find joy, because these types of people will suck the joy, the life, the peace, and any abundance from you. It's almost like you could have everything you want materialistically, but you feel like you have nothing when you're around those types of people, because that's how they suck on and feed on your energy. Incubus, succubus type energy. I'm just thinking about a clip that I saw, but it's very sexual, but I don't know if I should mention it. But it was disturbing. It was how she was speaking about what she was speaking about. How can I say this in a way where it's not too much? I just came across it and I was just like, what? Okay, it was a podcast. It was a man talking, and it could be seen as, I don't know. Some people would look at this podcast as toxic masculinity, but when I listened to what the man was saying about how women could be towards men, a lot of what he was saying I had agreed with, because I see it and I've experienced it before with people around me that I see act like that. But the way she was acting was a little different. She was acting like she was not, I don't know, Like her screws was a little loose or something, like something. She was acting like a nympho. I guess that's the best way that I could say it. Like she was a nympho. Okay. And she was talking to, I guess that was her man. But she was like, I need it. How can I say this without sick talking crazy? Okay. How can I say it? Okay, so sometime candy rains down when the two get highly aroused, right? Got it? Now, she said that she needs his candy. And he's like, why? It's like, why? Because she was so crazy with it. Like, wait a minute. Like, you're too aggressive about this. That's how I felt. Even me watching it, she was so aggressive and like she wouldn't mind taking it with her where she goes and leaving him wherever he is. Like, it was like a bit too much, and I could tell it made him feel uncomfortable because he's looking at her trying to get the answer. And then she was like, it's your energy. It's just so, I think she said beautiful. It's so good. And he was like, thank you. But he's still looking at her like, and she's like, I need it. I just need it. You don't understand. And then the guy that showed that clip on his podcast was like, see, these are, what did he call her? He was like, these women want to steal your energy and make you weak. Like, that's what he was saying. And I mean, a lot of people do it. Men do it too. But the way she was talking, it was like she wasn't even human. I don't know. It was like her vibe was, it's like she had like a sex demon attached to her. And if she feels like the way she was so like saying she needed, like it was her, like she needed his candy. She needed it. And I'm saying candy because I'm trying to keep it a little PG a little bit. I'm trying not to go too crazy. And I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. But he even looked uncomfortable. And then he was like, why? Like he wanted to say, he might have said no. I was laughing, so I probably didn't hear a couple things. Because it was just, I don't know. But it's giving that energy for me. This is the energy that I'm picking up from it. She was like, you just don't understand. Like, she was doing this with her hands and stuff. Like, okay, girl, you need to calm down just a little bit because I don't know, something else wrong. That's what it made me feel like watching her. And she definitely gave a vibe of someone who would have trouble being loyal to one person. She gave a vibe of somebody who, if she can get the candy that she wants, she gonna get it because it does something for her and it might be some type, I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into where I'm thinking, but I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about that, but I'm gonna just leave it there. But you could see the concern in this man's face, and I think that was his girlfriend. But he didn't. It was weird to him, and he wanted to keep his candy away from her. That's what it was given. Like, he wasn't sure if he should give it anymore. It's like, you making me feel uncomfortable, girl. You're doing too much. And you could tell he was feeling weird about it. And usually people don't really feel weird about that. People actually would like to experience this with someone that they like or they appreciate or that they love or whatever. But he was looking at her with a side eye. Like, I don't even know how to feel about you, girl. And I feel like you have felt that way about a lot of people in your life. Like, you're not sure how to feel about many people in your life because of the energy that they give you. And then you try to, like, give them a pass, but you were tired of that because the more you gave them a pass, the more that you suffered. And once you realize that and you know that that is what's happening and you don't try to act like it's something else, the easier it is for you to actually feel joy again and feel better about yourself, your life, your choices. When you start to feel bad about your choices, it starts to make you feel bad about everything. And then it makes other things in life start to collapse. It's like the energy keeps trailing through your life in different ways. It's like Spirit wants you to know how important it is to keep your energy clean from these hungry beasts that lurk through people's vessels and want to be around you. I heard in the day, but especially at night. Sometimes I'll go to sleep at a regular time, right? Where it's not too late, maybe like 10 or something like that. The only time I really go to sleep super like late, like after 10 or something like that, which is not really late, but is when I'm like studying something or doing something that I need to get, you know, completing something I need to get done or something like that. But every now and again, I'll wake up in the morning thinking that it's like 5 or 6. And it's like 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning when I look at the clock. And I always find that weird because I feel well rested. I don't feel tired. And I'm like, why did I just wake up this early and feel like... And I feel like Spirit wakes me up to give these messages sometime, because this morning I woke up at 3:16 in the morning, and it's just one of those times where I look at the clock like it's 3:16. Like right now it's 4:56 in the morning. But I don't know. It's a weird feeling because I don't feel tired. I feel well rested. And I feel like that's just because ain't nobody around me getting on my nerves. When you have people around you that aggravate you, it could even begin to become difficult to wake up in the morning and actually want to get up and go. When you have people around you that are aggravating you, it makes you just want to stay in bed and just sleep. Sometimes it's natural to be tired because sometimes we do a lot and we need rest. That's one thing. But sometimes even people can make you feel tired when you shouldn't feel that tired. But you don't even realize that it's the people sucking your energy out of you to the point where you should feel well rested, but you don't. Because there's energy thieves around you. Now, many of you have subtracted these types of people out of your life, and many of you have started, but you're not done yet. And many of you, you're free and clear. You know, you made that decision a while ago, and you're not turning back. And kudos to all of you, because you're going in the right direction. Even if the energies that are still around you, you haven't severed those ties yet, just knowing that that is what you are working on is good enough for the spirit realm, because they know that you are putting the work in, like you're moving towards what it is that is needed, and that's all that really matters. Okay? I think this is what Spirit wants to... I think this is just a message here. It's like reminding you of how these types of energies can affect your life. Because these people don't affect your life in just one way. Like, it's literally multiple ways that they... I just pulled the charms out and look what it is. A lightning bolt. A representation of your energy. Spirit speaks. Spirit speaks. I just rolled it around and picked the first one in my hand, and it's a lightning bolt, and I'm here talking about people stealing your energy. You hold on to your energy, and you only give it to those who love you for real. Not fake love. By now, I feel like you should be able to tell fake love what fake love is. And even if you can't tell in the beginning, you will eventually see what you need to see, because the grim will pop out. They're going to be like, ah, you're going to turn into a monster. And you're going to be like, oh, all right. I can't be your friend. You could just say that in your mind. You don't have to really tell them that. Don't say it. Not unless you feel like you need to for whatever reason, but I can't be your friend if you do not stand for the truth. Huh, yeah. Ha. Ha. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Ha. Ka. Ha. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Ha. Ka. Ha. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. I got the jokes. All right, I think that's it for this message. That's my little tune, you know, when I be letting it flow. I be letting it flow and letting it go. That's it for this message. Everything you do, do it with love. Thank you for being here. I am Mystic Alchemy, and I'll see you in the next message.